If I was to use one word, I would say incredible. Starting with the first project, which was our master bathroom. If we look at before and after photos, you almost can't even believe it's the same space.
It looked like I stepped from the jungle into the US. That was the feeling I had.
I think that I've always had a little flair for design. Of course, nothing as high end as the way of what we're doing right now at Kay Elan, but definitely I've always had a love for arranging, organizing, just ensuring that spaces around me make sense. And that things around me are meaningful as much as possible.
The CEO of Kay Elan has always been a friend, and in terms of convincing Mr. Alao, all I had to do was just show him evidence of the works that you've done, and it was really an easy sell.
Just being able to see what you've done on Instagram, the pictures, the BTS, behind the scenes and all of that, I think that really helped to push me to say, wow, let's get something like this.
And from the initial discovery calls and things that followed after, it was clear that we were going to get value, and we did.
There's one project that I was very pleased about, and is the View project. So when we presented that project to the client, when we presented the 3D to the client, it was very satisfying. They didn't even change anything at all. Just okay, let's jump right into execution, and I was very pleased about it, basically. So yeah, what comes to my mind is pleasing the client. I always want to please the client and basically just please them, make them happy.
And my husband said something to me before the second project, because we've done 2 projects with you guys. When he saw the quality of work, he was open to the next phase. He even suggested the next phase. He would say to me, when I walk into my home, I feel very happy I am coming back home.
So our very first project that we worked on was creating a room that was sensory balanced and was able to meet my son's need. And we had checked, we checked online and tried to do things ourselves, but things were not just coming together, right? We were just seeing things that were in the US and in Canada, and it just looked like it was going to be impossible to replicate.
Linda and the team were able to interpret the brief and bring all of that to life. That was really important, and that was really a game changer for our son. So he was then now able to fully express himself, fully get the kind of environment that supports his growth, and it was really good for us. Thank you.
Yeah, because before then it was hard to get him to regulate when he was having, being overstimulated or just not getting enough stimulation that he needs. He had things that could really meet his need, and we definitely saw a growth in his ability to regulate his emotions and just be more calm.
Yeah. So I remember for the boys' bedroom, while it was going on, while the refurbishment and renovation was going on, we didn't allow the boys to go there because we wanted to surprise them. So when it was all done, so we had like a reveal, and I did make a video, of when first time they opened the door and walked into that room. And sometimes we look back at that video and they just kept saying, wow, 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 this is amazing. While they went into the bedroom and into the bathroom, so again, it's always just an incredible transformation. Like, you almost can't believe that, it's the same space, that we used to have that has turned out, this way.
It's amazing because, when we begin a project, any project, the site, the empty space of the site, and especially when they go for measurements and they come back, you see the empty, everywhere is empty, void, none and void. And then they begin the whole brainstorming process, back and forth, bringing ideas left. Ideas are literally flying left, right, and center.
I love the way the team was always, they would tell me, Ma, this is what was the next thing to do, the next thing to do. I know I stress them because a lot of time, why are you people disturbing me with all this information? Do what you want to do. But each time you carried me along, and when I am not satisfied with something, you took your time to make sure that thing is taken care of.
No project is a straight line, literally. Well, our first time clients, they have gone to a home where we have designed and they have seen firsthand what it is that we could do. So they called us to say, come and redo your magic here. And somehow that magic, failed at the last minute. I remember, that day was the day of styling. It was done. Everything was looking, perfect. And we just wanted to go and put on those finishing touches in the space. And then we realized something was leaking somewhere. And pardon my French, it was crazy. Had to just start breaking tiles, removing all the fittings or the bathroom. And I questioned my designer hood. At that point in time, I questioned everything. I remember not being able to sleep. It was just so funny because eventually we did find a solution to it, of course. But it took another extra 3 weeks in addition. We were extremely uncomfortable for our clients. It was not at that point, the failure was not even paying us again. We were literally bleeding at that point to fix the errors. And I think that the redemption came a year later. I pick up my phone and that same client is calling me and saying that, hey, they want this madam that space. I just thought, wow, what God cannot do does not exist.
The brand has always been very open and willing to have corrections done, just to ensure that, ultimately, the client is satisfied.
For me, that word proficiency, you're proficient, you're skilled, you know what to do and how to handle crisis.
It was a very short time to start and complete the project. It was about 5 or 6 months, if I remember well. It was a little bit stressful because the timeline, it was very short, but the truth of matter, exactly. But you guys basically deliver it on time and with a very good quality.
In terms of vendors, to be honest, I feel like we've come to a point where we now have our team as we were. But of course, starting out, you had to try out everybody in issues of shelby jobs to issues of filing them on site. Like literally just get your things that goes go. But it's quite interesting that we actually had some vendors that I started with at that time, and they are still working with KD. But there have been some that have run away with our money. Definitely, yes. There have been some that I don't think they are called again. They even remember to ever call me just because we've been through a lot. Because running a business in Lagos has it comes with its own issues, power issues, traffic issues. Of course, what about hiring? Even hiring staff has also come with its own issues. People that come with their skills looking like they've done everything, they can do everything, and then give them the job and they can't do anything. So I'm grateful to every teacher, every mentor, because I didn't come here to judge by my own smarts. I didn't get here just by my own, every staff, every vendor, every client that took a chance on me. I want to say thank you to our very, very first client, Mr. Alandi. Thank you so much for, giving me the opportunity to have something in my portfolio to show other people that, we can do this. Thank you to all our clients everywhere. They are the reason why we're still existing.
I wish Kay Elan all the best for the future. Continue working hard like you are doing, and always doing their best, improving the techniques, the designs and everything. I'm certain that in 10 years from now, we'll be celebrating again the 20th anniversary. I just wish you all the best to you and to your team. Thank you, Olivia.
Congratulations, Kay Elan. Your motto says wholeheartedly design, and I think you deliver on that every single time. So congratulations. The sky really is just a starting point.
My prayer is that God continues to bless, all, the founder, the principal designer, all the members of staff Kay Elan, and that you continue to grow, as a firm, and that even continue to even grow beyond the shores of Nigeria, to being known as a design firm in Africa and even internationally.
More of this human face that you put into your work, the creativity, and more designs, bigger and better than all that we've experienced. I would love to see something that would make me disturb my husband and say, I think we need to do phase 3. Poor guy.